Oh my. Morning, everybody. It is Monday. Another week, another storm, right? Had our storm last week. We had some good rains out of that. Some of us, not all of us did. But now we have our next storm. It's another nice one. This will be a bigger storm as far as rain, coverage-wise. More Oklahomans will see rain out of this, which is good. Look at today's rainfall so far. Yukon's already had nearly a half an inch of rain, and so has Miko, and Chickasha's had over a half an inch of rain so far this morning. So, great rain. There's going to be some hail. I'll show you where coming up. There's going to be some hail today, and then a lot of the storms today are going to be producing small hail, gusty winds, lightning, and thunder. There's going to be a window, a narrow window late this afternoon and this evening for a few bigger storms. I'll show you where, with a little bigger hail, some stronger winds, and there's going to be a low tornado threat, and I'll show you where coming up today. But it's low. I mean, you know what I mean. Do not clean out the basements today. So, or the storm shelters or whatever. So we'll let this keep climbing here. The numbers keep climbing. We'll get this when it kind of levels off, and then I'll get started. I think sometimes people think, we have no idea how the fires started yesterday, all the fires we had. But I think some people get a false sense of security because of like last Friday or Thursday when we had the rain. They're like, oh, well, we had rain, we can burn. And many counties still under burn bans. Here's the deal. If you look out your front window right now, look at your yard. If you have Bermuda grass or if you live near a field or something, it's still dormant. And vegetation is still basically dormant. If you have fescue or, some of the weeds are coming up, some of the fescue is, but it only takes a day, 2 days at the most with sunshine and a little bit of wind and the fire danger goes sky high. So despite the fact that we had a little rain on Thursday of last week, some places had a couple of inches of rain and they still had fires yesterday. So it's because the vegetation is still dead and dormant from winter. You can have a foot of rain today and you can have wildfires in 2 days. This time of year. March is our windiest month. March is also our most dangerous month when it comes to wildfires. I've said that for 30 years and nothing's changed. It's always March. Now, a couple of years ago, it was in April, but most often it is March is our windiest month and our highest fire threat because of the wind and the vegetation is still dormant. Now, the next couple of weeks, we're going to really green things up and the fire danger will drop off. And we like the pattern. We have this storm coming through today and tonight. It'll hang around for a while tomorrow. And then the next storm next week. And today's storm we talked about nearly a week and a half ago. So I kept saying, it was like the 20th, 21st of March, and the next week's going to be the 29th or whatever, 28th. I'll have another storm next week. So the pattern is good. It's a progressive pattern. All right. So let's jump right into it here. Kind of give you the big view of what's happening. Hang on just a second. And just a beautiful satellite presentation if you're a dork like me and you love weather. Lots of moisture coming out of the Gulf, feeding into Oklahoma. You can see the spin back here, right? Over to Mexico. And that is what we're going to be dealing with for the next couple of days. And this thing is going to take its slow time coming down I-40. And then by Wednesday, it's pushing east of us, but we're going to be cloudy and cold and windy tomorrow with some showers around. And then by Wednesday, we're dry, but we're still going to be in the influence of this. And then we have some great looking weather coming up, late week into the weekend. and then another storm after that. But here's Oklahoma, and you can see the bowling ball doing the spin now over New Mexico. Okay, so let's take a look at the rain. And if you have our News 9 app, you can take a look at this as well. But the lines on here represent the movement of the storms. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really like that. Let me take that off. Okay, much better. And let's go back to normal reflectivity. Okay, so nice rain now, running from, starts off up north. There's Tonkawa. Let me switch radars here just to make it look a little bit better. All right, so nice rain. Running from Deer Creek to Tonkawa. Back down to Billings and Marlin, up and down I-35, down to Orlando and Mulhall. And then back into Logan County. We'll switch radars here again. And some of this rain's heavy with some hail in it too. Okay, so here's another shot. Okay, so anyway, let's back out of this just a second here. All right, so here's Oklahoma County. Lots of heavy rain now over Crescent, Cimarron City, Cashin, back down to El Reno, Union City, down Highway 81. Heavier thunderstorm just went through Slaughterville. That's going to go right over Lake Thunderbird. Heavy rain here coming into Lake Thunderbird. It's going to go right over Hera and McLeod. Heavy rain out of this. Going to have some small hail. And then southwest Oklahoma City, down to Bray, down Highway 81, back down to Chattanooga, and Geronimo, and Lawton. Good rains here going on. These are the same areas where sadly we lost a firefighter yesterday down in Comanche County, but the fire down there, which is just horrible. Anyway, so lots of heavy rain down here. Let me show you one other view here. And this is going to be southwest Oklahoma. Just to give you a perspective what's going on down into Texas. Look at the rain train, man. See this going all the way down into Texas? All right, here's Oklahoma. So this rain's going to continue. Now, it will rain back into western Oklahoma a little bit later. All right, so now these storms, let me show you some of the bills here. I kind of want to show you something here. Where the hail is right now. Okay, where you see these little pockets of green and yellow, that's going to be some small hail. All right, not severe hail, but pea size, just north of Wewoka, also near Tribby, and that's going to head up towards Pink and Bethel Acres. Going to have some small hail in there right now. Small hail near Crescent, some small hail up near Perry, and some pretty good size hail with this storm here. That's going to be pretty good size hail. That's going to be at least nickels and dimes. And that's going to Colgate. All right. And eventually that'll head up towards eastern Hughes County and west of McAllister with that storm there. Not severe, but, pretty good hail. At least nickels and dimes with that. Maybe some quarters in there. Almost severe. And then we get back into southern Oklahoma. This is all nickel and dime, or actually pea-size hail, or there may be a little bit larger hail right now near Bray, headed towards Ellick and Bradley and Lindsay, right here. All right, here's Chickasha. This is kind of moving to the north, so some hail in that. All right, so this is going to continue. Now, talking about the rainfall amount so far, and look at these. And again, this has only been raining here the last couple of hours. 0.59 now at the Mesonet weather station. That's in Yukon, Piedmont. 0.5 in Minko, half an inch in Chickasha, Minko's half an inch, 0.61 now in Yukon, just updated, 0.61. That's a lot of rain. That's a great rain. And this is all going to come through Oklahoma City. Now, you folks out west, you haven't had much yet. Northeastern Oklahoma had some rain. All right, so let's talk about today. And our storm system, again, moves in from the west slowly. We're going to get, this is going to go on. Now, I'll talk about the snow coming up. So Here's radar right now, right? Here's what everything looks pretty good. Radar looks pretty good according to the model. And then let's, okay, so watch how the rain here. All right, everybody knows where Oklahoma is, right? Oklahoma City's here, Ponca's up here, Woodward, Altus, Clinton, Weatherford here, Ardmore's down here, McAllister, Tulsa. All right, so see how the rain just continues to increase, but it does fill in. See, western Oklahoma, you're going to get rain out there, western Oklahoma. Just hang on. Here it comes. It starts to develop. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and look at all that rain going on across the state. That's a lot of water, folks. And some places will get well over an inch. Some places will get close to 2. Some areas will get half an inch. But notice, we start to see this area void of any rain down here. That's the dry punch at the mid-levels coming in. And there's a ball of energy right here. So these storms right here would be some of the strongest storms of the day, especially that one that goes into Garvin County, that goes up towards Purcell. Right? And that storm would be capable of some quarter, maybe some golf ball size hail, and winds to about 60 miles per hour. And there is a low tornado threat with that cell right there. And you're thinking, well, why there and not up here? Well, elsewhere, the instability is just too low. And I can show you that here real quick. And we can look at what we call CAPE. And notice on this map how the yellows and the oranges stays down south. Texas is going to have a big day as far as wind and hail and tornadoes from Dallas south. They're going to have lots of severe weather down there. But, this is typical for us, right? March is not, let's just be straight up here. March is not our big tornado month. Sure, we've had tornadoes, yes, plenty in March. But we only average about 3.9 or 3.8, whatever, tornadoes in the month of March. It's not our bigger month. That's because usually we're like this. We're cloudy, we're cool, we're not as unstable. Our big months are April going into May. Our biggest month is May. That's when we're, the Gulf is wide open. We have moisture. It's just a different setup. Right now we're still transitioning between winter and spring. So instability is not that high today. And that's why the tornado threat, frankly, is not that high. It's like what we had last week. Last Thursday, when we had the severe weather, we had the hail, we had rotating thunderstorms, but the instability was just too low. Just not quite there. And that's good. That's good. We had some nice rain. We'll do the same thing again today. All right, so when you look at this map, look at the instability here. And notice how it maxes out down across southern Oklahoma. You got a 1,500 value. You've got a couple little pockets of 1,500, approaching 2,000 down there. But it's not very high. But if you look out across Texas, if you have any friends or interest in Texas, look at the severe weather threat, at least the instability down into Texas along the dry line. See that? See those numbers? How they're higher? 2,000, couple of 3,000 west of Dallas. So they're gonna have quite a bit of severe weather down here today. Wind and hail. They're gonna have some tornadoes down here today. For us, this barely comes into southern Oklahoma. See how it comes in there? The instability. Okay, so let's talk about just rainfall amounts here. I'll tell you what, we'll go back to radar here. I'm going to show you one more thing. So we're going to have a couple of storms today that'll produce the largest hail and the strongest winds, and that's going to be this action coming out on this arcing line right here. So if you live in Marlow, Duncan, Pauls Valley, Sulphur, Purcell, Ada, Seminole, Holdenville, right in here. Right here's Oklahoma City. If you live to the south and southeast of Oklahoma City, you'll see the largest hail today, and you'll also have the strongest winds today, winds 60 to 70, and you're going to have a very, very low tornado threat down in here. So you're thinking, well, where are you talking about here? All right, hang on a second. Let me just show you. Let me do this real quick. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this off here real quick. And I'm going to back out of this. Um, so here's Oklahoma. Everybody sees Oklahoma. You know, if you've got to do a tornado zone today of anything, it's going to be kind of like down in here, and it's down into southern Oklahoma. It's down here. All right, whatever comes out of the southwest will try to make its way, to the northeast. So, Ardmore, Hilton, Tishomingo, Mill Creek, Colgate. I brought it up to about Ada, along or Pauls Valley south, if we're going to have anything at all. Most of the action today is going to be into Texas. All right, so rainfall amounts. Now, again, this is with this wave today. I mean, pretty impressive. I mean, but notice how you have pockets of green in here, where some places get a quarter of an inch, while other places are getting an inch. So I know you're thinking, God, that looks like a mess. But what's important is western Oklahoma, between the rain and the snow you're going to get 1 to 2 inches out here, an inch. Southwest Oklahoma, not as much because you get that dry punch, but you'll still get some rain down here. Not as much as you need, but you're still going to get some rain. And, rainfall amounts range where some places get an inch, some places get 2. And there are a few tiny little pocket areas that get 3 inches of rain. But I tell you what, folks, that's still a great looking map. All right. And as far as Oklahoma City and the metro, see how the numbers change here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's got 1.25 at Will Rogers. It's got 1.52 in El Reno. It's got 3.76 up in Chandler, up in Lincoln County. So it's got pockets of heavy rain, but everybody gets rain. Everybody gets rain. Let's look at another model here that came out just to give you kind of and this is a little bit better because it kind of smooths it out for you, but you can see Shawnee at 2.72, El Reno's at an inch. Well, El Reno's almost, over half an inch right now. But it's got an inch out into western Oklahoma. So it has rain out there. Okay? Tomorrow will end up being cold, windy. And let me show you this, though, real quick. This is the snow I'm talking about. You're going to be like, are you kidding me? Nope. See the snow developing this afternoon in our panhandle? And that's northwestern Oklahoma. Now, do I think this is overdone? Yeah. But this gives Woodward 5.5 inches of snow. It's pretty crazy. But it's March, and Woodward, northwest Oklahoma, the Panhandle, often do get heavy snow in March. So we've got to watch that. A lot of the data not quite that aggressive. We can look at some of the other data here. And it still gives Woodward 2 inches, gives 4 to 5 inches in the northwest and the Panhandle. Other data is not that aggressive. Here's another piece of data here. And it gives, it keeps a lot of this in the Panhandle. See that? It gives Woodward like a dusting and keeps all the heavy snow. Either way, there will be heavy snow in our Panhandle down to Amarillo into western Kansas. They're going to get a nice thumping of snow. I mean, this is a winter storm here. And the question is, how far does it come into Woodward? There might be you folks in Woodward Northwest might get a couple of inches of snow. Okay? All right, so just kind of keep that in mind. Tomorrow will end up being cold. Highs tomorrow, primarily in the 40s. Wind chills will be in the morning, will be in the 20s and 30s, mainly 20s and teens. And then tomorrow afternoon with the clouds and the showers hanging around north of I-40. I-40 north tomorrow, some showers and drizzle. Tomorrow's an ugly day. It's cold, windy, and raw. At least today is cool. But tomorrow's going to be just a yucky day. And then by Wednesday, life's good again. We start to warm it back up. Oh, by the way, I've got a low of 30 to 31 degrees Thursday morning. And if the winds lay down, we'll have a freezing here. It'll be close Thursday morning. So if you're thinking, I've got my early plants, and you got to be careful this time of year. I'll just tell you, I have not bought any perennials yet to put out. I have not bought any spring color to put out yet. And I was at the garden centers this weekend, like you were, and I see all the begonias and the impatiens and the yippee, and I'm not buying any of that stuff yet. Not yet. Just cause. I don't want to have to cover it up and dig it up and do all that, right? So, still a little early. We're getting there, but still a little early. Okay, so recap, rainy all day. Western Oklahoma, you'll see rain developing this afternoon. And the main threat today is going to be mainly across southern Oklahoma, some wind and hail. There is a very low tornado threat down across southern Oklahoma today. It's low. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 1. It's low. It's low. I'm just being honest with you. It's just really low. I mean, instability is not, it's better or it's higher, but it's not as, no, which is good. I mean, it's great. Thunderstorms that rotate still produce a lot of heavy rain, but you're going to get some bigger hail out of that. So if you live in Ardmore, Purcell, maybe as far north as Purcell, Pauls Valley, Sulphur, Falls Creek area, down to over to Ada, back down towards Lawton, Marlow, and Duncan. Watch out for 1 or 2 of these storms that come out southwest Oklahoma late this afternoon. Okay? There's so many comments here. I don't have time to go through all of them. I wish I did. Why is the power off? You know what? We just pushed that out on, yeah, I don't know. We just pushed it out. It just came across my app, but it just said, OG&E, there's something going on. I have no idea. I don't know. I didn't read it. I was doing this. I wish I had. It kind of came up and it went away, and I was like, oh. But anyway. All right, so it rains. Again, it's raining in the West Metro now and raining across the city. It's going to get heavier. It'll rain all afternoon. Western Oklahoma, you're starting to see a little bit of rain. It'll get heavier out there. And then as we get into this evening, after about 5 o'clock, we'll watch southern and southwest Oklahoma for a couple of big storms that come out there and give us some wind and hail across southern, southwestern Oklahoma. A little wind, a little hail with that low tornado threat. Then tomorrow's cloudy, cold, windy. Gusts tomorrow to over 40. Yuck. Gusts tomorrow to over 40 miles per hour. And we'll have a little snow in northwestern Oklahoma. Okay, so anyway, that's the way it looks right now, looking at everything that I've seen. Oh, by the way, storm system next Tuesday looks pretty good for rain. If instability's higher, we'll have some severe weather next week. That'll be Tuesday of next week. And then we're quiet after that, all right? So just keep that in mind. It's not after this system today and tomorrow, then it's quiet weather and beautiful weather returns. So anyway, just reading some of this. Yeah, Tina says, Greg, they do at noon. Yeah, at noon, Cassie will have the latest, and she'll have all the graphics and all the maps and everything. I mean, everything laid out. I just kind of show you the behind-the-scenes stuff of what I'm looking at and what I'm thinking today. So if you're a tornado panicker and you're all worried about it, don't be. It's a low tornado threat in southern Oklahoma today. And for the rest of us, it's a little bit of wind, a little bit of hail, small hail for most of us. Most of us, if we have hail at all today, it's going to be small. But there will be a couple storms that are able to tap into the little bit better moisture, and they'll produce a little bit bigger hail. Okay? Just keep that in mind. All right, well, let's see what else we have here. I love graphics. Light rain in Hinton, yeah. Raining here in Lindsay, yeah. Raining in Edmond. You can hear it. It's pouring here at my house. Finally. Let's turn the radar back on here. And nice rain moving across the city. Let me show you here. Here's downtown Oklahoma City. Here's Midway City. Heavy rain from Jones, Choctaw, down to Lake Thunderbird. And then real heavy rain. Lindsay, Rush Springs. Nice rains going on down here. Okay? So, but notice western Oklahoma. You're thinking, there's nothing going on out here. You're right. There's not much. But it's coming. It's coming in out of the south, and it'll keep moving to the north. So you'll get some rain. It's just going to take a little while to get there. All right? And this is going to spread to the north up towards, Clinton and Hydro and Hinton and Watonga. Another big batch of rain here, but I still think you'll see more showers developing and more rain in the west and southwest. Okay? So I'm talking about Mangum, Sayre, Elk City. You'll see rain and storms there. Okay? All right, so a wet day ahead. We love it. After what we had yesterday with the wildfires and the loss of life and the loss of homes, sad. I hate it. And by the way, yesterday was windy, but it was not certainly what we can do in March around here. We didn't have a dry line move through, so you didn't have winds 60 miles per hour. We had winds 40, a couple of gusts of 50, which is more than enough when your vegetation, when the grass is still dead. And again, we're going to have another freezing here Thursday morning, so that grass is not going to start to green up even after this rain. It's getting there. It's taking its time. But you keep having temperatures in the 30s, it keeps the growing down. So, we got to be careful, And we have no idea how those fires started yesterday, Cigarette, somebody welding outside, burning trash outside, somebody dragging a chain behind a trailer. We didn't believe how many fires that starts sometimes. So anyway. All right, everybody. Well, we'll do another update. Cassie has the latest at noon. I'm going to get in and get to work. I've got a lot going on today. And we'll see you guys a little bit later on News 9, right? So trackers will be out. Val and Tom and Brandon, Jeremy, and Hank. Everyone's ready to go today. And we'll just, we'll do what we do. Track down rowdy weather in Oklahoma. Okay, well, hey, it's been a good time. I've enjoyed it. I know you guys probably haven't, but I've enjoyed it. Anyway, it's all good. You guys have a good Monday, and we'll see you here a little bit later this afternoon. Peace out.